Hi yogis, and welcome to Radiant Heart Yoga. My name is Jane and our practice for today is called Harmonious Hips. So it's all about working our way around the hips, opening up this really big joint where we store a lot of physical tension and also a lot of emotional tension. So if you've tight hamstrings, maybe grab a couple of bricks because the hamstrings, be a little bit involved as well. And work your way through the practice. Modify where I suggest or where you need to intensify, where you would like to, and use this first time through the practice as your introduction to it, your way to feel into what you need to do. And the more times you practice it, because it's great to keep opening up the hips, the more times you practice it, the more you'll know what's coming next, and you'll be able to get really into a space in your mind where you can just let everything become like a movement meditation. So we're going to start in child's pose. So I'd like you to take your knees nice and wide for this child's pose. Sit back into your heels, and there's tons of ways to modify your child's pose. So the first thing, if you come to about the middle of your mat, sorry, should have said that before, and you can take something underneath your head or underneath between your thighs and your calves to modify. You can take this position, you can stretch your arms out in front of you. You can prop your head up on your hands. And today I'm just going to take my hands back and reach back for my feet. And then use the top of my head to kind of push my hips back. My chin is pressing in towards my chest, and it's a really nice release for the neck, but it may not be okay for you. Just take one more breath here. And then from here, you're going to come forward so that you're on all fours, but you're going to keep your knees nice and wide. And we're going to take some cat and cow. So as you inhale, let your chest move forwards as your belly drops down, tailbone lifts, head lifts, and then as you exhale, rounding in. And then inhale. And exhale, rounding in. And then from here, you're going to cross your right ankle under your left and roll to take a seat. So looking down, you've got like a little triangle here. And then from here, you're going to reach your arms up, anchor your sit bones down. So if you want to put something underneath your hips, you can. And then exhale, folding forwards. So again, use your props, modify where you need to. You can use them underneath your elbows. Maybe you can be here. Or you can use your arms and just gently pull yourself forwards so that you're taking your sit bones back and then lengthening your lower back forwards and maybe coming a little bit deeper. Just taking one more breath here. And then you're going to walk your hands so that you're over this left knee. Anchor your right sit bone down and just fold over to the side so that you get a stretch into the QL muscle, your quadratus laborum, the right side of your lower back, and also be moving a little bit into your ribs. So one more breath. And then just move this left hand around a little bit further, and then turn your chest up towards the sky. Bring your right arm alongside your ear, so moving deeper into the side body now, keeping that right sit bone anchored down again. And you can take your fingertips a little bit further away, or maybe if you're intensifying, you can drop down onto your forearm. And then inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, bring your palms down in front. And then from here, just take your hands behind. Going to switch so that your left ankle is at the front. And then we drop again. Same thing now on the other side. Exhale. Take your sit bones back, hips back, and lengthen out of your lower back. And then bring yourself as low as it's okay for your body. Maybe creeping your hands a little bit further forwards to intensify it, or you're modifying, staying higher, using your bricks. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands this time over to the right. So you're turning over this right knee and beginning that stretch into the left side of your lower back. And then keeping your right hand out to the side, just moving a little bit further out, and then turning your chest up towards the ceiling. Stretching deeper into this left side body now. And maybe if you did on the other side, you can intensify by bringing your forearm down. And then inhale, come up, reach both arms up, and exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart. And then from here, you can just come back onto all fours, or tucking your ankles underneath and rolling back. And this time, you're going to still have your knees wide, but just curling your toes under. And this time, you're going to use your pelvis, your tailbone, to lead you. So as you inhale, you're going to let your tailbone lift and let that bring your upper back and your head up. And then as you exhale, start with your tailbone rounding, rounding, rounding until your head follows and your chin tucks into your chest. And then inhale, start with your pelvis and follow with your chest, and then exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. And then from here, going to come up into your downward facing dog. And just setting yourself up in your downward facing dog. Rolling your inner elbows forwards. And wrapping your triceps back. Hugging your forearms in towards the midline. And then bending your right knee and shifting your hips across to the left a little bit and feeling the stretch in that left leg. And then switch, straightening your right leg, bending your left leg, shifting your hips across to the right a little bit. And then back to your downward facing dog. You're going to inhale, come forwards to a plank, and you can take your knees down and come all the way down, or you can exhale, knees, chest, chin, and then slither as you inhale into a cobra, and then curling your toes under, exhale back to a child's pose and up to your down dog. So a little bit of leg strength there. We're going to do that twice more. So this is going to be the form of our vinyasa through this class. Inhale into your cobra and exhale back to your child's pose and up through to down dog. And then one more. Inhale, coming forwards to your plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or all the way to the floor. Inhale, slithering up into your cobra, and exhale back to child's pose and up to your downward facing dog. And then from here, you're going to inhale, lift your right leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. And then let's do some knee circles. So as you inhale, take your knee down, and exhale, circle it back and around. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale. And then keep the hip rolled open and straighten your leg. So inhale here, rolling your hip, lifting your hip high. And then as you exhale, you're going to keep that right leg as lifted as you can, but drop your right hip lower than your left. And then inhale, roll your hip high again. And exhale, drop the hip, but keep the leg lifting and keep your shoulders as square as you can. Last time, inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rolling the hip down. And then lift the leg high and exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then from here, you're going to lower your left knee down. Lean into this left hand. Turn your right foot out to the right a little bit. Come onto the outside edge of the foot if you can. And then press that knee out to the side, leaning away from it. Opening up into the hip. Maybe dropping this left hip a little bit lower to open the front of the left hip. And then from here, you're going to walk this right foot back in. And then you're going to pick up your left knee and line up your feet for a warrior 2 foot pattern. So heel to arch foot pattern. And this is where you can use a brick underneath your hand, or you can bring your elbow to your thigh if you're modifying. And then from here, you're going to start to roll your chest open again and reach your left arm up. So keep pushing into the front of your right heel and the outside edge of your left foot and pressing your right arm into your leg to roll your chest open. And then from here, we're going to come all the way up, so this is some leg strength, into your peaceful warrior. You're going to inhale, come up, sliding your left hand down the leg or modifying by taking your hand to your elbow, hand to your waist and reaching this right arm back. Inhale, come up, straightening your right leg, and then exhale, reaching your right fingertips forwards and bringing your right hand somewhere on this right leg, or if you can take your fingertips to the floor, you can take your fingertips to the floor into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So take one more breath here, really pushing down through your feet and expanding upwards through these left fingertips and forward through the crown of your head. And then bring your left fingertips down. Frame this front foot, spin that left heel back up and lower your left knee down to the floor. And then from here, interlace your fingers and bring them onto this right thigh. Keep pushing down into your thigh, lengthening your tailbone and lifting your chest into your upper back. Shoulders away from your ears, and then start to, if it's there for you, sink forwards and down as if you could bring this right hamstrings to the calf. And then from here you're going to push into your hands. You're going to take this left hip back so it's just a little bit in front of the knee, and then from here push your hands into your thigh and round your spine as much as you can. So it's a little bit tricky because it's a balance, but the more you round your spine, push your hands into your thigh and roll your shoulders away from your ears, and you're going to feel the stretch as well in the front of this left thigh. And then from here you're going to bend that into that right knee again, and you're going to take your left foot behind you so you can sit on this left foot and bring your right foot underneath your knee with your foot at an angle, and bring your hands into prayer position, into seated goddess pose. And I'm using my right tricep to press this right knee away from me to keep on opening up through the hips. And then from here you're going to turn back, so like a quarter turn back to the front. And then from here, inhale, reach your arms up, big opening. And then exhale, grab your bricks, you might need them. You're going to lift your left knee and step this left foot in a bit. So now you're in a warrior one foot pattern, and you're just going to adjust this pattern, or the feet, so that you can push down into the front of your right heel and the outside edge of your left foot, squaring off your hips. And then from here, rounding down. And if it's okay and you can come deeply there, you can just shuffle that foot back again and then keep pushing into the front of this right heel. And dropping the weight down into your left heel. And then from here, maybe you can lift your sit bones and lengthen out of your lower back, maybe folding in a little bit deeper. And then bring this left hand, so you can have it on a brick, remember, and you can be on your fingertips. Push into that left hand and reach your right arm up for revolved Trikonasana, Pavarita Trikonasana. So again, pushing into the front of this right heel, the outside edge of your left foot, pressing down into this left hand to spin your chest to the right and pick up this right arm and really energize through that right hand. One more big breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to bring your hands around, turn your left foot out a little bit, bend your left knee and sit down into Skandasana. So you can stay here supporting yourself with your hands, both hands, or maybe you can press your left tricep into your left leg and reach your right arm up. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands into the center, turn your feet, unless you've got sciatica, in which case keep your feet parallel, and turn your feet slightly pigeon-toed, and then you're going to come first into your wide leg forward fold. So from here, inhale, lift your chest, and you can be on bricks to modify, take your legs wider to modify, and then, or if you're intensifying, walking your hands back, wrists underneath your elbows, hug your elbows in, And then keep pushing into your feet, lifting your sit bones up, and then lengthen out of your lower back to draw the crown of your head closer to the floor, to draw your chest back toward your legs. And then walk your hands back out, and you can stay here, or you can take your feet wider into Samkonasana. And just be very careful with this one. So this has been part of my practice for a very long time, and I'm probably not that much further into it than when I started. It's all about, you know, the proportions of your body, the you know, movement patterns that you build up in your body. But just do what you can. I like to take my fingertips back, so face back behind. And you can also come onto your heels, and maybe that takes you a little bit deeper. And then from here, you're going to heel toe your feet back in and turn back over your right foot. And then step back into your downward facing dog. So you can stay and hang out in your downward facing dog, or you can come back to our little vinyasa and inhale, come through plank, and exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, sliding into your cobra, and exhale, back through child's pose into your downward facing dog. So now we're going to repeat this on the other side. So I'm just going to turn around so that you can still see what I'm doing, but you just stay as you are. And then from here, you're going to inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your knee and roll your hip open. And then from here, you're going to do some circles with that knee. So inhale, draw the knee down towards the mat, and then exhale, roll it open. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. And then straighten your leg, but keep rolling the hip up. See if you can keep your shoulders as level as you can. So drop your left shoulder and lift your right armpit up. And then as you exhale, keep that leg as high as you can and drop your left hip lower than your right. That gets into the outer edge of this right leg. Inhale, roll your hip high. And don't forget you can do this on all fours to modify. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, roll it up. Last time. Exhale, drop it down. And then inhale, lift your left leg high. And as you exhale, step that left foot to the outside of your right leg. And then from here, you're going to lean into your right hand, turn your left foot out at an angle, come onto the outside edge of your left foot if you can, and then press this left foot, knee away from you and lean back towards the right. Maybe you can drop your right hip a little bit further. And then from here, come back, walk your left foot in, lift your right knee and come into your warrior two foot pattern. Use your props as you did before, or bring your elbow to your knee if your hand doesn't reach the floor or a brick. Left hand to the inside, and then from here, roll your chest open, pushing into the outside edge of your right foot, the front of your left heel, pushing your left arm into your leg. And then from here, we're going to come all the way up into your reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Inhale here, and then exhale, maybe sink a little bit deeper. And then inhale, come up, straightening that left leg. You can shorten your stance a tiny bit, and then reach your left arm forwards and let it your hand find somewhere on your leg where you can keep your chest rolling open. Maybe you can bring your fingertips to the floor and reach this right arm way up. And then from here, you're going to bring your right hand down and you're going to spin your right heel back up, and you're going to lower your right knee down to the floor. Keep your toes tucked under and interlace your fingers and bring them onto this left thigh. And keep lengthening your tailbone as you push your hands into your thigh and lift your chest up into your upper back. Stay here, or if you're going to intensify it a little bit, maybe start to come forwards. But keep it out of your lower back as much as you can, as if you could bring your hamstrings to touch your calf. And then from here, you're going to push, shifting your hips back a little bit, push your hands into your thigh and round your spine as much as you can. So if you can keep your ears and your shoulders apart. Feel the stretch in the front of this right thigh. And then from here, you're going to bring your fingertips to the floor and you're going to spin this right foot behind you so that you can sit on your right heel. Adjust your left foot and bring your hands back in front of your heart into your and your thumbs in front of your heart, and press that left thigh away with your left tricep. Lift your chest up into your thumbs. And then from here, you're going to turn back, so quarter turn back to the front. Inhale, reach your arms up big, open, and then exhale. Bring your hands down, lift your right knee, position your feet for your Parsvakonasana. And then from here, use your bricks to modify. Under your hands, push into the front of your left heel and the outside edge of your right foot. And then keep squaring off your hips. Maybe you can fold deeper and your spine round a little bit. And then if you can, just lifting away from the leg, pressing your sit bones up and back, lengthening out of your lower back, taking the roundness out of your spine and folding back in. And then keeping your right hand underneath your shoulder, from here, start to lift this left arm and then re-establish your legs. So push into the front of that left heel, the outside edge of your right heel, your right hand presses down and the crown of your head moves forwards. Big breath in, and then from here, you're going to spin all the way to the right, over this right leg, sliding your left leg straight. So you're in Skandasana again. Dropping as low as you can. Maybe you can bring your right tricep in front of your right leg and reach your left arm up and back. And then walking your hands into the centre. This time shortening your stance a little bit, turning your feet out, bending your knees and coming into a goddess stance. And then from here, crossing your wrists, turning your fingertips away from you, and you can stay here, or you can lift your heels, drop your head down, rounding your spine into this expression of goddess pose. And then lower your heels if you lifted them, half turn back to the front of your mat, and then step back, downward facing dog. And again, stay in your down dog, or Inhale, forwards into your plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slither into your cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. So from here you can step your feet around your hands, or you can do a little hop. Bring your feet around your hands, and now you're going to sit into Malasana. So you can have your heels on a blanket so that you're not having your heels lifting away from the floor, and then use your glutes. So not even using your hands. Use your glutes to press your inner thighs back. Then you can use your arms and lift your chest up towards your thumbs. And then from here, you're going to keep this right foot as it is, and you're going to step your left foot back. And again, lean into your left hand and press that right knee away. And then from here, you're going to lower this left knee down again and come into a lizard pose, or you can keep that knee lifted. So just see how it works in your body. It's okay for me to lift that leg back up, but I'm dropping the thigh down. And then from here, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to turn this right foot back in, lower the left knee back down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart, and then twist to the right. So lift that right elbow up. Lift your chest away from your thigh. Even engage a little bit into the left ribs so that you can twist a little bit deeper. And you can stay here, this is your modified version, or if you want to come a little bit, intensify a little bit, you can keep these left toes curled under and pick up that left knee and come into a higher version. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands back down to the mat, and you're going to step your right leg back, but cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And you can stay here, or pick up your left heel, bend your left knee and press your chest back towards your thighs. And then reach your right leg up so you can drop down onto your knees to do this, and just step your right foot forwards from there and come up into a crescent pose. So you can come all the way up into your crescent pose, and then from here you're going to step, so you can do that in stages, or really push off from that left foot and lift your left knee in towards your chest. And then from here, you're going to open that left knee out to the left. And then bring your foot into your inner thigh and press your hands into one another. Press your foot and your leg into one another. Use the left glutes and really peel that leg back. Maybe take your hands up over the crown of your head. from here, you're going to bring your hands back to your heart and then release this foot. And can you bend your right knee and slowly float that left foot back? And then bring your fingertips to the floor and bring your right shin forwards towards your hands. So you're coming into pigeon pose. Can't open the hips deeply without a pigeon pose. So just rolling a little bit, swaying side to side. You can put something underneath this right hip if you need it. So keep squaring off your hips the best you can. And then either staying high, maybe using your bricks underneath your elbows, or you can tuck your back toes, maybe coming all the way down, either onto your forearms or all the way down. And just take some really deep breaths here. And then from here, plant your hands and you're going to lean into this right hip and sweep this left leg forwards, and then bring your right foot into your left thigh for Janu Shirshasana. So it's like your standing pose but seated. And then you can stay here. You can prop this knee up with something. Or you could inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, reach forwards for that left foot. Keep your hips squared off. Keep this left leg active by pulling your toes back towards your face. And then you're keeping this left leg active and you're squeezing your right glutes to open up through that hip. And then inhale, come back up. And then, just like you did at the beginning, curling underneath, your ankles underneath you and coming back to your downward facing dog. Pressing yourself back. And then from here, we're going to repeat on the other side. So from here, you can step your feet forwards, or you can do a little hop and spring forwards, bringing your feet around your hands, and again use your glutes and come back to your Malasana. So hopefully your hips are feeling a lot more open now. We're going to bring that harmony back. We're going to balance out this side now. So from here, your left foot's going to stay as it is, and you're going to step your right foot back. And this time, keep that right knee lifted, lean into your right hand, and then press that left knee open, maybe dropping that right hip down a little bit more. And then turn back to the front, and you can lower your right knee down. Maybe you can come onto bricks, or maybe you can lower your forearms all the way to the floor. Maybe it's okay for you to lift that knee back up and take a little bit of a deeper opener. One more breath here. And then bring that right knee down. Press up, bring this left foot back in line, and then from here, keep your right toes curled under if you're going to come into the deeper twist. Take your arms up, really nice open arms, and then exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, twist to the left this time. So hook your right arm around, bring your hands together. And then you can stay here if you're modifying, or lifting that right knee. Really lift your right heel, lift yourself away from that thigh as much as you can. And then bring your fingertips to the floor. You're going to step into a down dog, but you're going to cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh. And either stay here or skip this and just stay in your down dog, or lift your right heel, bend your knee and press through your hands, press your chest back towards your thighs. And then inhale, reach that left leg up, and exhale, step your left foot forwards, and inhale, come into a crescent pose. And then as you exhale, you're going to step, however you get there, into this left foot, and bring your right knee in towards your chest. And then this is what I showed you on the other side. So you can be here, opening your leg out to the side, or if it's in your practice, you can straighten this right leg and open that leg out to the side. And then from here, bring this right foot into, so it can be, if you're modifying, it can be into your shin or into your thigh. Push your foot and your leg into one another. Push your hands into one another. Maybe take your arms up over the crown of your head. In your tree pose, Vrikshasana, engaging the right glutes, opening up the front of the pelvis. And then release that foot, and maybe you can bend that left knee and float your right leg back. Bring your hands to the floor, and then you're going to shift your left shin to face the front of your mat, and just have a little sway. So if it's too much, if you're modifying, you can bend this back knee and sit on this left hip rather than trying to square your hips off, which is more of an intense stretch in your knee if you have any knee issues. So a little sway and keep squaring off your hips. So I'm trying to roll my right hip forwards and reach my left hip back. So as I reach it back, it's more likely to come down towards the floor as well. And then you can stay up high, whatever you did on the other side. Maybe it's not possible to do exactly what you did on the other side, but you're just trying to find that harmony from one side of your body to the other, bringing that balance in, which in itself creates that quality of harmony in your body and in your mind. Maybe coming lower all the way to the floor. So you might be modifying, you might be intensifying, but it's all the same, as long as, not to get attached to what you can do one day, because you may not be able to do that again the next day or the next time you try it. Take a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up, lean into this left hip as you come up, and sweep this right leg around. Keep your right leg straight and bring your left foot to the inside of your right thigh into your tree pose, seated tree pose. And then squaring off your hips, supporting this left knee if you need to, engaging that right leg, and you can stay high, or inhale, reach your arms up, and as you exhale, send your sit bones back, scoop your belly up, lengthen out of your lower back, and fold in. And then inhale, come up, and you can repeat what you did at the beginning and compare for yourself how it feels, and bring your right ankle in front of your left. Or you can come into double pigeon, Agni Stambhasana, so that your left shin is in line with the front edge of your mat, and then you stack your right shin on top of your left. And it may be that when you first come into it, you need to have something underneath this right leg as you let this right hip relax down. But it's not, I'm just going to turn around a little bit this way. So it's not half lotus. You're not trying to bring this foot in towards your groin. You're trying to take it away from your groin so that your shins are parallel with one another. And I like at first to take my hands onto the soles of my feet so that I can keep my feet flexed. And then maybe you're here. Maybe you can send your sit bones back and your chest forwards and come a little bit deeper. So this is a really, really big hip opener. So it may be that you need to practice this many times before you start to open up around the hips enough to get deeper into this. But it's, never forget how far you've already come. That's the thing, to stay positive, don't get attached to where you go. Taking one more breath here. And then inhale, come up, and you're going to come into Baddha Konasana, so you can bring your bricks underneath your thighs, and you're going to bring your knees in, shift a little bit this way, so you're going to bring your, not your knees, your feet in towards your pelvis, pushing your feet into one another, walking onto your sit bones, pushing your feet into one another, pushing your feet down, and then now squeezing your glutes to open up your hips. And it might be that you stay more upright, or that you're able to lengthen out of your lower back and come a little bit deeper. Maybe use your elbows to kind of anchor your legs further down, well, not further necessarily, but just to keep them where you manage to get them. Keep squeezing your glutes. Some people, depends on your ankles, can open the feet up, almost like you're opening the feet up like a book, and that's going to take you into a deeper hip opening, and then maybe folding forwards there. And then inhale, come up, and you're just going to switch sides with your double pigeon. So if you're not doing double pigeon, you're going to bring your left ankle or shin in front of your right, and you're going to fold forwards from there like you did at the beginning. Or you're going to line up your right shin with the front edge of your mat and stack your left shin on top. So you're keeping your feet flexed and just working, relaxing this left hip. And it's fine if you need, so you can, I've got a space here at the moment while I just gradually let my left side of the hip relax. And then for me, I need to start to tip forwards to let this left leg come closer so that it can rest on my right. Keeping my attention on flexing my feet. I like to just rest my hands into the soles of my feet at first. And then maybe you can bring your elbows down. Or you can always rest them on a stack of bricks, or you might be upright, you might still be working at your crossed ankles or crossed shins, working at your forward fold from there. And then inhale, come up. And then from here, you're just going to roll down. In fact, stay upright for a moment, keep your feet out in front. Hands can be either on the top of your front of your shins, just below your knee, or you can wrap your hands around. This is a bit awkward with my wrists, but anyway, so you can hold the inside of your legs, and then inhale, arcing, open, and exhale, rounding in. Inhale, releasing your spine, exhale. One more, inhale, and exhale. And then slowly making your way down onto your back. And last pose, coming into happy baby. So taking your knees nice and wide, stacking your ankles over your knees and just gently pressing down through your feet. And then now can you press down to your sacrum? So just resetting the natural curves of your spine after all that forward folding. And then slowly bringing the soles of your feet together. You can use your bricks and prop up underneath your... in fact, let's do that because we're right at the end of the practice. The more relaxed you can be, the better. So you can slide your bricks underneath your thighs at any height of your bricks, and then just bringing your hands, one hand over your heart, one hand onto your belly, closing your eyes, and just letting yourself release every single bit of tension that you might find in your body. Closing your eyes. Just making any adjustments that you need, and if you don't want to have the soles of your feet together and still be in a hip opener, you could just straighten your legs and come into a classic Shavasana there. And staying as long as you can afford to give yourself in your Shavasana. Thank you for practicing with me, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.